Chosen one. Hear me. You were never created to be ordinary. Before your heart first beat, before your lungs first drew air, heaven already claimed you. That's why your story has always been different. Why, no matter how hard you tried, you could not blend in. The mark on you is invisible to human eyes, but undeniable in the spiritual realm. Think back, haven't you always sensed it? While others fit easily into the crowd, you often felt like a stranger, even in familiar rooms. While others moved without care, you carried questions too deep for your years. This was not by chance. It was heaven whispering, "You are set apart. You are chosen for more." Heaven speaks clearly through the words in the book of Exodus, chapter 19, verse 5. "Now if you obey me fully and keep my covenant, then out of all nations you will be my treasured possession." You are not just another face in the multitude, you are a treasured possession. Do you feel the weight of those words? Treasured things are not left lying in the open, they are guarded, preserved, and kept in secret places until the right moment. That is your story. Every season of hiding was heaven's way of protecting your value. Imagine a crown locked away in a vault. To outsiders, it may seem forgotten, but in reality, it is being preserved for the right head, the right time, the right ceremony. That is, you hidden not because you are worthless, but because you are priceless. Let me tell you of one who carried such a mark. He was overlooked by family, underestimated by friends, and dismissed by those in power, while others ran ahead. He was left tending sheep in the fields. Yet heaven had whispered over him, "You are mine." When the moment came, that hidden shepherd was called into the palace. His hiddenness was preparation, not punishment. Your life follows the same rhythm. Chosen one. The very rejection that hurt you so deeply was part of your protection. Those who walked away were never meant to handle what is holy. The opportunities that shut in your face were heaven saying, "Not here, not now. Something greater awaits you." Oil cannot mix with water, and the sacred cannot be treated as common. Your journey has always been the flame inside a lantern, glowing quietly while the world sees only glass. But soon, the covering will be lifted, and your light will blaze without hindrance. The waiting has not been wasted. It has been shaping you for the unveiling. And now, the question stands, what will you do with this truth? Will you continue to see yourself through the eyes of men? Or will you step boldly into the identity heaven has already declared? If you are ready to embrace the mark that has always been on your life, make a prophetic declaration. Type 144" the comments. 12 tribes multiplied by 12 apostles, the fullness of God's covenant people. Let this number be your seal of agreement that you are part of heaven's chosen lineage, a possession treasured by God Himself. And as you do, I urge you share this word. Someone else, hidden and hurting, may need the reminder that they too are treasured. Subscribe so you never miss the confirmation your soul longs for. And if you feel led, support, so this voice continues to reach those who wander, unaware they are marked. Chosen one. Lean into this truth a little deeper. Think of the way a pearl is formed, hidden in darkness, layer upon layer, built through pressure and irritation, until one day it is revealed as a treasure beyond price. That is you, the nights of tears, the unanswered questions, the ache of feeling unseen. All of it has been forming your pearl. your evidence that you are rare. You are not here by mistake. Heaven did not stumble when creating you. You are part of a grand design, woven into a story larger than yourself. And though the world has not yet fully recognized you, the time of unveiling is drawing near. So let this word sink into your spirit like roots gripping deep soil. You are marked. You are chosen. You are one in a billion. And when your moment arrives, nothing and no one will be able to deny the light that was always within you. Sorrise. And do not shrink back any longer. The crown has already been fashioned for your head. The path already carved beneath your feet. Walk forward with boldness, for heaven is not waiting for another. Heaven is waiting for you. This is your hour, your unveiling, your confirmation. Step fully into who you are. You have fought battles that no one else has seen. While others only know fragments of your story, heaven has witnessed the long nights, the private tears, and the inner wars that shaped you. Hidden battles are often the truest evidence of a chosen life. They are not punishments, they are signals that you carry something worth attacking. Think about it. Why would the enemy waste time on someone ordinary, someone with no future, someone with no mark of heaven? He wouldn't. But you have felt resistance since the beginning. In your youth, discouragement struck you harder than most. When you tried to rise, obstacles appeared like walls too high to climb. Relationships that promised joy often turned to wounds. Opportunities that seemed certain dissolved like mist in the morning sun. And yet, you are still here, still breathing, still moving, still carrying light within you. That survival alone is proof that you are rare. Hidden battles are like wars fought underground. Imagine the roots of a tree, spreading in the soil, pushing against rock, fighting for space in the darkness. No one sees those struggles, but without them, the tree could never rise tall and strong above the earth. Your hidden battles are the roots of your destiny. What you endured in the dark has prepared you to stand firm in the light. Let me tell you the story of a chosen soul who walked this same road. She lived with a smile that fooled many, but in silence she wrestled with thoughts that threatened to consume her. Night after night, she asked heaven if her pain had purpose. She saw others move forward while she seemed stuck in cycles of delay. Yet in the unseen realm, her perseverance was becoming her strength. What felt like stillness was in fact the molding of her spirit. And when the season turned, her hidden scars became testimony for others who thought they were alone. So it is with you. The very battles you never spoke of, the ones you thought no one would ever understand, those are the ones heaven will use. People may admire your strength, but never know what it cost. They may celebrate your smile, but never imagine the tears behind it. This is the paradox of the chosen. Your deepest warfare becomes your highest testimony. We find in the book of Isaiah, chapter 41, verse 10, "Do not fear, for I am with you." This is the guarantee of your hidden battles. You did not drown. Even when the floods rose high, you were not consumed. Even when the flames closed in. Why? Because your survival was not left to chance. It was guarded by covenant. The very fact that you are alive to hear these words proves that promise true. Consider another image, a diamond deep beneath the earth, under unimaginable pressure, surrounded by silence and stone. To the eye of the world, it does not exist. Yet in truth, it is being formed. Pressure does not destroy a diamond, it creates it. And your hidden battles are the pressure that reveals what has always been within you. Without them, the brilliance inside you could never be released. There are moments you may have asked, why so much pain for me? Why so many obstacles? But do you realize, the scale of your battle always matches the size of your destiny. Soldiers on the front line face heavier fire than those in the rear, and you have been a frontline warrior. Even if you never chose the role, think of David before he ever faced Goliath, alone in the fields. He fought lions and bears with no audience, no applause, no recognition. Those hidden battles prepared him for the moment when all of Israel watched. Without the private victories, he would never have had the courage for the public one. In the same way, your hidden lions and bears, the struggles no one saw, have prepared you for giants ahead. And even though those seasons were lonely, they were not wasted. Every tear was counted. Every sleepless night was recorded. Every cry from your heart reached the throne of heaven. Nothing was ignored. Nothing was wasted. Your hidden battles were chapters of training written in invisible ink, waiting for the right light to reveal their meaning. Chosen one, do not despise the weight of what you endured. It has carved endurance into your bones. It has taught you resilience no one can take to death. It has made you a living sign that survival itself is victory. Many would have broken under what you carried, but you are still here. You are proof that being chosen is not about a life of ease, but about the strength to rise again and again, no matter how hard the fall. So, walk forward with a new awareness. Those battles were not wasted years. They were not senseless suffering. They were the shaping fire of your destiny. And one day, when you stand tall in your calling, you will look back and realize what nearly broke you was the very thing that built you. Your difference is not a flaw. It is design. You have tried to blend in, tried to silence parts of yourself, tried to shrink so you would not be noticed. But nothing worked, because heaven never intended you to be ordinary. You were crafted with threads that don't match the common fabric. You carry colors that cannot be replicated. You stand out because you are built to. The ache you've carried in your heart, why am I not like them? Why do I not think as they do? Why is my path always different? Is not rejection, but revelation. Heaven wanted you to know that you were sculpted for distinction. While others may walk wide and easy roads, yours is narrower, sharper, steeper, but it leads to heights they will never reach. According to what is revealed in the book of Proverbs, chapter 16, verse 4, the Lord works out everything to its proper end. That includes you, even your difference, even your discomfort, even the seasons when you could not explain yourself to anyone. Nothing was random. Every curve in your journey, every delay, every shut door, all of it was working out toward the end God designed for you. Picture a violin string. To the untrained ear, it may sound too tight, too strained, even unpleasant when plucked alone. But once placed in the hands of a master, that same string produces music that moves hearts. You are that string. What feels like tension in your life is the preparation for a sound only you can release. Let me share the story of a chosen one who struggled with this truth. From a young age, she noticed she never fit the mold. Others were satisfied with small dreams, but something in her resisted. She felt guilty for wanting more, guilty for hungering for purpose, while those around her were content with the ordinary. She thought her longing was a curse, but in time, she discovered it was the very evidence of her chosenness. That restlessness was heaven's way of keeping her from settling for less. Your story may echo hers. You cannot settle because you were not designed to. Chosen one. Your difference is divine architecture. Stop seeing it as weakness. Stop comparing yourself to those who were never meant to carry what you carry. The fire in your bones, the longing in your spirit, the dreams that wake you at night. These are not burdens to suppress. They are markers of your destiny. Yes, people may not understand you. Yes, they may call you strange, too much, too different. But understand this, only those marked for uncommon purposes are misunderstood. Gold does not look like dust. Diamonds do not look like stone. And you, though underestimated, carry the shine of heaven within you. Now I call you to respond. Write in the comments, I accept me. Short, simple, but powerful. Why? Because for years you questioned yourself, doubted yourself, tried to erase parts of who you are. But typing these 3 words is an act of prophecy. It is you agreeing that your difference is not an accident, it is a gift. Every time you see it written, you will be reminded, I accept who God made me to be. And when you declare it, you silence the lies. Lies that said you were too odd, too broken, too weak. Lies that tried to convince you that you should be more like them. You are not meant to be like them. You are meant to be the original, the 1 in a billion, the unrepeatable masterpiece. So carry your difference like a crown, not a curse. Walk with confidence, knowing your design is intentional. Let your uniqueness be the very sign that you are chosen. For when heaven crafted you, no duplicates were made. You are the one and only. So let your life become a living testimony of divine uniqueness. Think of a lighthouse standing on a rocky cliff. It does not move to fit in with the waves below. It stands tall, shining in its own way, guiding ships through darkness. That is your role. Your difference is the very light others need to find direction, even when you feel alone. Remember, solitude often surrounds the rarest treasures. The pearl forms in secret. The eagle soars alone. The crown is fitted in silence before the coronation begins. Your path may look unlike any other, but it is precisely that path that proves you are chosen. Do not shrink. Do not apologize. Rise in the fullness of who you are. The world does not need another copy. It needs the original you, the one heaven crafted by hand for this exact moment. They rejected you, but they could not destroy you. Again and again. Life placed you in situations where people turned away, where doors closed without warning, where the very ones you thought would stand beside you walked away. At times, the rejection cut so deep, it felt as though your very soul had been pierced. You asked yourself, why am I always the one left behind? Why am I always the one overlooked? What you didn't see in those moments was the hand of heaven shielding you. Every rejection was not simply man's choice, it was heaven's protection. The no's you heard were not curses, they were barriers keeping you from entering places unworthy of your destiny. What looked like abandonment was preservation. Imagine a rare artifact of immense value. No museum would allow careless hands to touch it. No stranger would be permitted to carry it. It is guarded, sealed in glass, surrounded by alarms to protect its worth. You are that artifact. The times you felt pushed aside. Heaven was setting alarms around you, ensuring that what is sacred would not be mishandled. There was once a young man whose friends mocked his dreams. He longed to be accepted. So he tried to shrink himself, to act ordinary, to bury what made him unique. But even then, whispers of destiny would not leave him. Each time he faced rejection, he thought it was a punishment. Only later did he realize those who had walked away could not have walked with him into the future. They lacked the capacity to handle the weight he carried. Their departure was the clearing of his path, not the breaking of it. So too, with you, when certain relationships ended without explanation, when opportunities vanished without cause, you thought it was proof of your unworthiness. In reality, it was evidence of your value. Not everyone can sit at the table of the chosen. Not everyone is equipped to walk beside someone marked. The very rejection you mourned was a wall built to keep you safe. According to what is written in the letter to the Romans, chapter 8, verse 31, if God is for us, who can be against us? This is not merely comfort, it is a declaration. It means no hand lifted against you, no tongue speaking against you, no system plotting against you can overturn what heaven has decreed. They may reject you, but they cannot remove you. They may leave you, but they cannot cancel what God has placed within you. Picture a seed thrown aside into a ditch. To those who threw it, it was worthless. But beneath the soil, hidden from view, the seed broke open, roots spread, shoots rose, and in time, the tree that grew became stronger than any who despised it. That is your life. You were cast aside, but you were never destroyed. You were buried, but you were buried in the ground of destiny. The ache of rejection is real. It cuts deep because you loved deeply, trusted fully, believed honestly. But chosen ones are refined in such fire. Each no is a sculptor's chisel against stone, shaping you, not shattering you. What emerges after rejection is not bitterness but strength, not despair but resilience. Think also of Joseph, sold by his brothers, betrayed by blood, abandoned to slavery. Every step seemed like rejection upon rejection, yet behind it all was divine orchestration. Had his brothers embraced him? Had Potiphar's house kept him? Had prison not held him? He would never have reached Pharaoh's palace. His rejection was the very road to his reign. So it is with you. What seemed like cruelty was choreography. Every rejection aligned you with a greater purpose. Heaven knew that if you stayed where you were, your fire would be smothered, your crown delayed, your destiny untangled. So doors slammed, faces turned, hands withdrew. It hurt, yes, but that pain preserved you, chosen one. You must begin to see rejection differently. It is not the end of your story. It is the proof that your story is not meant for every reader. Not all are meant to walk with you. Not all are designed to understand you. Rejection filters the crowd so that only the right ones remain when destiny calls. Your task now is not to mourn what left, but to honor what remains. You still stand. You still breathe. You still carry the flame. Let the past be the soil from which you rise taller, not the weight that chains you down. For every rejection you endured has left a residue of strength in your spirit, a resilience that no one can strip away. So walk forward with unshaken heart. Remember, though man may have pushed you aside, Heaven has always pulled you closer. You are not defined by who left, but by who remains. And the one who remains has promised never to abandon you. That promise is stronger than every no you've ever heard. The light you carry is not fragile, it is fierce. From the day you were marked, Heaven placed within you a flame that darkness cannot comprehend. It is why you unsettle atmospheres without saying a word. Why certain people react to you with hostility without cause. And why environments seem to shift the moment you walk in. Your light is the evidence of the eternal within you. Consider the way dawn breaks over a valley. Shadows retreat, not because they choose to, but because they cannot resist the authority of the light. That is what happens when you enter a place. Without realizing it, you bring illumination. You expose what hides. You awaken what slumbers. You stir hearts that did not even know they were asleep. Scripture says in the Gospel of John, chapter 1, verse 5, "The light shines in the darkness, and the darkness has not overcome it." And this truth is alive in you. You may not always feel it, but every step you take pushes back the domain of shadows. This is why you have often felt resistance, why the air sometimes grows heavy around you, why certain rooms feel unwelcoming. It is not you, they are rejecting it. It's the light in you that unsettles what prefers to stay hidden. Think about a lantern carried through a cave. At first, only a few feet ahead are visible, but step by step, the glow reaches deeper, uncovering corners that have been dark for centuries. That is your life. You may feel small, you may feel ordinary, but every move forward widens the reach of your flame. There was once a chosen one who spent years thinking their voice was too quiet to matter. They kept their words to themselves, thinking no one noticed. Yet, in a moment of courage, they spoke truth in a room clouded with despair. What happened? Silence fell. Eyes turned. Hope flickered where there had been none. From that day, they learned the secret. You don't have to shout when you carry light. Even a whisper glows. So too, with you. Your light is not in how loud you are, but in the essence of who you are. The compassion you show, the truth you refuse to compromise, the integrity you hold when no one is watching. All of this radiates. People may not compliment you, but they cannot ignore you. Light never asks permission to shine, it simply shines. This is why the attacks against you have been so relentless. The enemy is not after your possessions, your job, or even your relationships. He is after your light, but he cannot put it out. He can try to distract you, try to discourage you, try to convince you to hide it under shame, but even then, the flame burns on. Do not underestimate the power of this flame. Think of a single candle in a dark stadium, thousands of empty seats swallowed in shadow. But one wick burns. The eyes of every person would be drawn to it. That is the scale of your impact. Even if you feel like only one voice among billions, your flame cannot be ignored. Chosen one. This is why you must protect your light. Guard your heart against bitterness. For bitterness clouds the glow. Guard your mind against lies. For lies dim its reach. Guard your spirit against compromise. For compromise tries to suffocate it. Your light is too rare to be wasted on distractions. And here is where you step into boldness. Share your light. Not recklessly, but purposefully. Speak when silence demands truth. Act when fear tries to paralyze. Shine where others have surrendered to shadow. You are not given this light for yourself alone. You are entrusted with it for the sake of those who wander in darkness. If this word resonates within you, I ask you to keep the flame moving. Share this message so that another who feels like their glow is fading might remember they are not alone. Subscribe, if you have not, so that you remain connected to a stream of reminders that fuel your spirit and keep your lamp burning bright. Like this message as a sign that you choose to protect and honor the light within you. Support, even with a small seed, if you feel led, so that the light of this work can continue to reach corners untouched by hope. These acts are not just digital clicks, they are extensions of your flame, because every like, share, subscribe, or seed sown in support becomes a ripple. You never know who on the other side of a screen might feel like they are drowning in shadows, until your action delivers light into their night. Heaven uses small gestures to create eternal impact. And as you go on, never forget, you do not carry just a spark, you carry fire. The fire of courage, the fire of truth, the fire of love that will not bow to darkness. Lift your head, walk boldly, shine fiercely, for the world does not need less light, it needs yours. 1 in a billion, that is what you are. Think about those words carefully. Not 1 in 100, not 1 in 1,000, not even 1 in 1,000,000. Heaven has singled you out in a way that makes you rarer than rare, more precious than diamonds, more unique than stars scattered across the night. When you look at yourself in the mirror, it may be hard to believe. You see your scars, your flaws, the places where you've fallen short. But what heaven sees is different. Heaven sees the way you kept standing when storms tried to drown you. Heaven sees the prayers whispered through tears when no one else heard. Heaven sees the hidden strength forged in battles others would not have survived. That is why you are 1 in a billion. According to what is written in the book of Nahum, chapter 1, verse 7, the Lord is good, a refuge in times of trouble. He cares for those who trust in him. This verse echoes the very core of your identity. You are cared for, preserved, and set apart. That is why danger has passed by you. Why accidents did not consume you. Why enemies did not triumph over you. You are under the gaze of a God who does not lose track of his treasures. Picture a single pearl hidden deep in the ocean. Divers comb through the waters, searching. Yet only one hand guided by destiny finds it. That pearl is not common. It is sought after, protected by depth, revealed only at the appointed time. That is who you are. The world may not see your brilliance yet, but heaven has been guarding your unveiling. There was once a chosen one who lived with constant comparison. Everywhere she looked, others seemed more talented, more loved, more celebrated. She wept, believing she was invisible, that her life was small and unworthy. But over time, she began to realize something profound. Her silence had kept her pure. Her obscurity had preserved her heart. Her hiddenness had kept her safe. And when heaven opened her season, she rose not as a copy of the crowd, but as an original who could not be ignored. That same truth hovers over you. Now, chosen one, your rarity is not in what you lack, but in what you carry. You have endured pressure others could not withstand. You have been set apart when others blended in. You have stood in the fire and emerged with a glow no darkness can extinguish. That makes you irreplaceable. Imagine standing in a field of ordinary stones. Suddenly, one catches the light. Its edges sparkle in ways the others cannot. Immediately, it is set apart. That is how heaven views you, not as another stone in the dust, but as the gem that shines differently, and because you are one in a billion. Your journey cannot look like the rest. Your road may be lonelier, narrower, more complex, but it is precisely that road that proves you are rare. The masses walk wide paths, the chosen walk narrow ones. Do not despise the narrowness, for it is the signature of heaven on your destiny. Now I call you to a prophetic response. Type 555" the comments. 5 is the number of grace, and repeated 3 times, it is grace multiplied. Overflowing, unshakable. When you declare this number, you are choosing to acknowledge the uncommon grace on your life, the favor that has kept you when others fell, the protection that makes you one in a billion. This is more than digits. It is a prophetic act, a way of saying, I see it now. I embrace who I am. As you write it, let your spirit remember every narrow escape, every answered prayer, every storm you survived. Each was a thread in the tapestry of your chosenness. Each was proof that heaven does not misplace its rare ones. Chosen one, your uniqueness is not arrogance, it is assignment. Your rarity is not vanity, it is validation. You were not meant to look like the rest. Because the world has enough copies, what it needs is the one original you, shining with a light no one else can carry. So walk with your head lifted high, not because you are better than others, but because you are different for a reason. The weight of your calling, the depth of your battles, the brilliance of your survival, these are the marks of one in a billion. You are proof that rarity exists, and proof that heaven chooses carefully. There are moments in your journey when you have wondered if you were truly alone. You faced storms that no one else seemed to understand. Valleys where silence pressed in like walls, and battles that felt far larger than your strength. Yet even in those darkest hours, you were never abandoned. Though unseen to your eyes, heaven's host has walked beside you. Angels, dispatched by divine command, have been your silent companions. Scripture does not speak of angels as vague images, but as living messengers, protectors, and servants of God sent to aid those who belong to Him. When you think of the times you narrowly escaped danger, the situations where disaster could have struck but somehow did not, remember this: there are no accidents in the life of the chosen. Behind those coincidences, invisible hands were moving. The book of Hebrews, chapter 1, verse 14 declares, "Are not all angels ministering spirits sent to serve those who will inherit salvation?" This is not poetry, it is a reality that frames your life. From the moment you entered this world with the mark of destiny upon you, heaven assigned guardians. Their presence does not always announce itself with thunder or brilliance. Often, it is subtle, a delay that keeps you from harm, a voice of caution that rises in your spirit, a sudden sense of peace when chaos swirls. These are glimpses of the unseen help surrounding you. Imagine a soldier walking through a battlefield. To the naked eye, he seems outnumbered, vulnerable, and alone. Yet above him, unseen to his enemies, are legions of reinforcements, arrows poised, shields raised, That is your walk in the spiritual realm. The world may think you move unprotected, but in truth, you are never unguarded. Let me tell you of one chosen one who bore witness to this. He lived through a season of relentless opposition, doors slamming, threats rising, shadows thickening around him. One night, after yet another disappointment, he collapsed into prayer, begging God to show him if he had been forgotten. In that moment, though no vision appeared, a warmth spread across his chest. His breathing steadied, and he knew he was not alone. The very next day, what should have been disaster turned into deliverance. Later, he realized while he could not see them, angels had been encamped around him, steering him through the storm. So too with you. The fact that you are still here is evidence of angelic assistance. Countless dangers you never knew about have been deflected. Countless snares you never saw have been cut. Where others fell, you were carried. Where others perished, you were preserved. The same unseen company walks with you even now. Think also of Elisha's servant, trembling at the sight of enemy armies surrounding them. His eyes saw only danger, only hopelessness. But Elisha prayed, "Lord, open his eyes." And suddenly the servant saw the hills ablaze with horses and chariots of fire, the heavenly host standing guard. What had looked like defeat was actually divine advantage. Your life mirrors this truth. Even when your natural eyes see only enemies, your spiritual reality is that you are never outnumbered. Picture yourself as a traveler through a dense forest. Shadows stretch long. Branches crack. Predators stalk unseen. Yet around you move quiet guardians, unseen but vigilant, ensuring every step is ordered, every path cleared. You think you walk alone, but in truth, you are escorted, chosen one. Your story is not one of abandonment, but of continual preservation. The nights when fear tried to choke you, angels whispered courage. The moments when you felt one step away from disaster, their hands steadied your steps. Their mission has always been to guard the inheritance within you, to ensure you reach the place heaven destined. And though you may never see their faces on this side of eternity, one day you will understand just how often they shielded you, how many battles they fought on your behalf, how many times they stood between you and destruction. You will realize that your survival was not luck, but orchestration. So carry this truth as armor around your heart. You are never walking unprotected. Heaven's army has been assigned to your journey, and the flame within you is guarded by hands unseen. This is why you remain standing. This is why your story is not over. You are chosen, and you are never alone. And when doubt creeps in again, remember this: silence does not mean absence. Just because you cannot hear the wings does not mean they are not surrounding you. Every step you take is escorted. Every breath is guarded. You walk through unseen shields, wrapped in unshakable protection. The weight you feel is not a burden of shame, but the mantle of destiny. It is the unseen responsibility pressed upon your shoulders, heavy, yet holy. While others seem to move lightly through life, you often feel as though gravity presses harder against you, and you have wondered, why is everything heavier for me? Why does the road never seem easy? Chosen one. The answer is simple: because you carry more. Heaven has entrusted you with a calling that outweighs temporary comfort. The heaviness you sense is not proof that you are cursed. but that you are crowned. Mantles do not rest on everyone, only on those set apart for purposes larger than themselves. Think of an ancient king. Before he sat on the throne, before the crown was placed upon his head, a cloak of authority was draped over his shoulders. That cloak was not light. It was woven thick, embroidered with gold, stitched with weight. It was heavy, so that the one who bore it would never forget the seriousness of his office. In the same way, the weight you feel is heaven's cloak, preparing you to rule in the sphere assigned to you. The book of James, chapter 1, verse 12. Declaris, blessed is the one who perseveres under trial, because having stood the test, that person will receive the crown of life. And your trials are not random. They are tailored to the crown prepared for you. Every pressure, every testing, every long night is shaping you to wear what others could not. The weight does not come to break you, but to build your endurance, to strengthen the muscles of your spirit, so that when the crown is finally revealed, you will not collapse under its glory. Imagine a bow drawn back by the hand of an archer. The string strains, the wood bends, tension builds. To the arrow, it may feel like unbearable pressure, but in reality, the pull is preparation. The further back the bow is drawn, the farther the arrow will fly. Your life is that arrow. The heaviness you feel is not proof of delay, it is proof that heaven intends to launch you further than you can imagine. Let me share the story of a chosen one who wrestled with this very truth. She lived through years of responsibility others could not understand. Burdens of family, burdens of faith, burdens of battles she did not ask for. While her peers laughed through their days, she carried what felt like the weight of worlds. She asked God why her shoulders were chosen for such a load. And in time, she saw without that weight, she never would have discovered her strength. Without the load, she never would have realized she was born to lead. That weight became the proof of her mantle. So too with you. You may not recognize it now, but the heaviness that makes you sigh is actually heaven's sign that you are trusted. It is no small thing to be given a calling, to carry the destinies of others in your prayers, to stand as a wall when storms rage, to bear wounds in silence so that others can find safety. These are not accidents. They are assignments. Think of Moses on the mountain, hands raised while Israel fought in the valley. As long as his arms were lifted, the people prevailed. But when weariness set in and his hands dropped, the battle shifted. His arms, his weight, his calling carried the destiny of a nation. He could not lay it down, even when tired. And so, heaven provided help Aaron and Hur to hold his arms steady. The weight was real, but the purpose was greater. Your life mirrors this pattern. The responsibilities that seem too great, the burdens that feel unending, are signs of a mantle placed upon you. You are not carrying aimless weight. You are carrying destiny weight. And though you may stumble beneath it, you will not be crushed. Though you may cry under it, you will not be broken. Heaven knows exactly what your shoulders can bear. Chosen one, learn to see the weight differently. It is not there to punish, but to prepare. It is evidence of trust, a sign that you have been deemed capable, and when you stand one day in the fullness of your calling, the heaviness of this season will make sense. You will see that without the weight, you would never have grown strong enough to carry the crown. So do not despise the pressure. Do not curse the mantle. Let it rest upon you, for it is shaping you into who you were destined to be. The weight you carry is holy. It is the weight of calling. And it is proof that you are chosen. The enemy does not fight what does not threaten him. The fact that you have endured such intense resistance, such relentless opposition, is proof of who you are. You are not attacked because you are weak. You are attacked because you are marked. Hell has always recognized the light you carry, even when you yourself struggled to see it. Think about the times when discouragement tried to suffocate you, when failure seemed to circle you, when temptation whispered in your weakest hours. These were not random struggles. They were targeted strikes against the very destiny written over your life. You are a danger to darkness, and the enemy knows it. We are reminded in the book of Isaiah, chapter 54, verse 17, "No weapon forged against you will prevail, and you will refute every tongue that accuses you." This is not just reassurance, it is a divine decree. It means that every arrow shot at you, every trap set beneath you, every word spoken against you cannot stand. The battle may rage, but the outcome has already been sealed. You are defended by covenant, and nothing crafted in the shadows can overturn heaven's light upon your life. Imagine a torch carried through a battlefield. Every spark of its flame exposes hidden enemies, disrupting their cover, shattering their schemes. That is what your life does. Your very presence illuminates, lies, and exposes traps. The enemy cannot tolerate your light because it reveals what he has built in secret. Let me tell you a story of one who lived this truth. He faced betrayal from trusted friends, slander from voices he once respected, and constant setbacks that would have broken most. Yet each time he was struck down, something in him rose again. He did not know it then, but his very resilience terrified the darkness. Later, he realized every attack was confirmation that his life carried weight in the unseen realm. So too with you. Do not despise the battles you face. They are the very signs that hell fears what you are about to unleash. The enemy would not be wasting arrows if you were not worth targeting. The warfare around you is not about your past. It is about your future. Think of a lion. It does not roar at mice. It roars when another lion enters its territory. The noise you have faced in your spirit is not because you are small, but because you are powerful. You carry territory-shifting authority, and darkness knows it. And now, chosen one, I invite you to respond. Write in the comments, "I fear nothing." 3 words. Simple but strong. Why? Because every attack has been designed to make you doubt, to make you cower, to silence your roar. By declaring these words, you align with heaven's decree that courage is your portion and fear is not your inheritance. Each time you write it, you are reminding yourself, my battles are not signs of weakness, they are confirmations of my calling. You are not hunted because you are fragile, you are hunted because you are fire. So stand firm, lift your eyes, walk boldly into the battlefield of your destiny. The enemy knows your name, but he also knows he cannot win. You are chosen, and you are covered. No shame, no weapon, no shadow can erase what heaven has decreed over your life. And when you reflect on your battles, do not only remember the pain, remember the outcome, time and again. What was meant to break you, instead, built you. Every arrow that struck became a reminder of your resilience, Every storm that rose became training for the seas you are called to cross. Every enemy that mocked you became proof that you were already a threat. The truth is this: opposition is often the loudest prophecy of destiny. The harder the enemy pushes, the clearer it becomes that you are carrying something worth fighting for. If you were insignificant, there would be no resistance. But the war surrounding you is confirmation that you are dangerous to darkness, chosen to disrupt its schemes and bring forth light. So lift your eyes beyond the battlefield. See the pattern for what it truly is: an enemy that knows it cannot win, only delay. Your endurance is the real victory. Each time you rise again, you step further into the authority that was written for you from the beginning. And remember, your survival is not just for you. Others will look at your scars and see hope for their own battles. Your story becomes a torch for those still stumbling in the night. Every attack you overcame becomes a testimony that declares, "The chosen cannot be destroyed." Confirmation has always been written across your life, though at times you doubted it. You asked heaven for signs, for proof that you were not wandering aimlessly, for assurance that you were not just imagining your calling. And heaven has answered not once, but again and again, through scripture, through whispers in your spirit, through circumstances that could not be explained by coincidence. Every prophetic confirmation has been pointing to one truth: you are chosen. The apostle reminds us in his first letter to the Corinthians, chapter 1, verse 27, God chose the foolish things of the world to shame the wise. God chose the weak things of the world to shame the strong. These words were not just meant for the early church. They are alive for you right now. You are the living embodiment of this verse. Where others dismissed you, heaven appointed you. Where others saw weakness, heaven saw a vessel of strength. Where others saw insignificance, heaven saw destiny. Consider the way David was overlooked by his family. When Samuel came to anoint a king, every brother was called forward except David. To human eyes, he was too small, too unworthy. But to heaven's eyes, he was the one. This is prophetic confirmation. Rejection by man is often the loudest validation of heaven's choice. Think about your own story. How many times have you been underestimated, and yet the very thing they said you could not do, you accomplished? How many times did doors close, only for another to open that fit your destiny more perfectly than you could have imagined? These are not coincidences. They are confirmations. Imagine a sealed letter carried through storms and hands, finally delivered to its recipient. That letter bears a signature, proof of authenticity. Your life is that letter. Every trial you survived, every breakthrough you experienced, every verse that leapt off the page and pierced your spirit has been heaven's signature. Stamped again and again, you are mine. You are chosen. Let me tell you of one who lived this out. She felt small all her life, overshadowed by those around her. Each time she tried to step forward, she was told she was not enough. But then she began to notice something. Words of scripture would come alive exactly when she needed them. Opportunities no one expected opened just for her. Strangers confirmed things she had prayed in silence. And slowly, she realized heaven had been confirming her identity all along. So it is with you. Even when your faith faltered, heaven kept speaking. Even when you tried to walk away, confirmations found you. You could not escape them. because the call over your life cannot be silenced. And here, chosen one, is where your light can ripple further. When you recognize the confirmations on your life, you become a confirmation for others. Your testimony, your resilience, your victories. These are signs to someone else that they too are chosen. This is why I ask you to not keep this word to yourself. Share this message so that someone hidden in doubt may see their own confirmation reflected in your courage. Like this message as a public sign that you recognize the fingerprints of God across your journey. Subscribe if you haven't, so that reminders of your chosenness continue to meet you right when your spirit needs strength. And if you feel led, support this work, even a small seed, because every gift keeps this flame burning, allowing prophetic words to reach those who may otherwise never hear them. These actions are not casual, they are sacred. Each like, each share, each seed sown becomes a ripple of light that moves farther than you can see. You never know who will scroll past and suddenly realize, this was my confirmation. This was for me, chosen one. Prophetic confirmation surrounds you. The scriptures declare it. Your journey echoes it. And heaven has never stopped whispering it. Stop doubting the signs. Stop questioning the fingerprints. Your life is not random, it is written. And what is written by heaven cannot be erased by man. So, walk boldly into this truth. Lift your head and let your heart rest. The confirmations will keep coming. Not because you ask for them, but because heaven delights in reminding you of who you are. You are the letter sealed with destiny, the vessel chosen for glory, the living proof that what God speaks always comes to pass. And when the next confirmation comes, let it no longer surprise you. Expect it. Welcome it. For the one who called you is faithful, and his voice will continue to echo until every part of you believes fully. There are seasons in life when the breaking feels unbearable. The very ground beneath your feet seems to crumble. The dreams you once held slip through your fingers, and the strength you thought was yours dissolves like mist. This breaking season is one of the deepest mysteries of being chosen. For while it feels like the end, it is in truth the birthplace of something greater. Chosen one. Your breaking was never meant to destroy you. It was heaven's method of shaping you. Just as clay must be pressed, spun, and even cracked to be molded into a vessel of honor, so too must your life be reshaped in the fire of difficulty. You may not have understood it then, but every tear, every loss, every disappointment has been part of heaven's refining process. The prophet Hosea spoke of this mystery in chapter 6, verse 1. Come, let us return to the Lord. He has torn us to pieces, but he will heal us. He has injured us, but he will bind up our wounds. Oh, this is not cruelty, it is mercy. The tearing is followed by healing. The breaking is followed by binding. What was lost in your life was not wasted. It was an invitation into a deeper strength. Imagine a potter at the wheel. The clay spins, pressed by hands that know exactly where to apply pressure. At times, the clay collapses. It seems ruined, beyond repair. Yet the potter does not discard it. He gathers it again, wets it with water, and begins shaping it anew. What looks like destruction is only reconstruction. That is your life. The breaking has been the hand of heaven reshaping you for a greater design. There was once a chosen one who carried heavy expectations, Every step she took seemed to unravel. Her career collapsed. Her relationships fractured. Her health weakened. She felt as though her entire identity was shattering. In despair, she whispered that perhaps she had no future left. But in time, she came to see what was broken was not her destiny, but the false structures she had leaned on. What remained after the breaking was purer, stronger, unshakable. Her faith was no longer built on shifting sands, but on eternal rock. So too, with you, what shattered was not the essence of who you are, but the shells that could no longer contain your calling. The breaking removed what could not last. It forced you to release what was temporary so that you could embrace what is eternal. Think of wheat crushed in the mill. The grinding is violent, yet it transforms kernels into flour capable of becoming bread. Without the crushing, there is no nourishment. Without your breaking, the gifts inside you would have remained locked away. But through the grinding seasons, something new was unlocked. What seemed like loss has birthed sustenance for others. Do not despise the breaking. Chosen one, it has carved depth into your soul. It has taught you compassion for the wounded, patience for the waiting, and empathy for the broken-hearted. You understand pain in a way that theory alone could never teach. And now, when you speak, others will recognize authenticity, because they will hear in your voice not just words, but survival. Even the scars you carry are not shameful, they are sacred. They testify that you endured what others thought would finish you. They mark you as someone who has walked through fire and yet still stands. They are not symbols of weakness, but of resilience. Consider also the imagery of gold refined in fire. Impurities rise to the surface only under extreme heat. Without the fire, the gold appears dull. With the fire, it gleams with unmatched brilliance. Your trials were the furnace, but your spirit is the gold. What emerged from your breaking is a purity that cannot be faked. And so, though the breaking season felt like loss, it was gain. Though it felt like death, it was birth. Though it felt like abandonment, it was protection. The very areas you thought would never heal are the places heaven will use most powerfully. Chosen one. The breaking has not disqualified you. It has certified you. It has marked you as one who can be trusted with greater weight, because you now carry not only strength, but humility. Not only vision, but wisdom. Not only calling, but compassion. Lift your head, even if the cracks still ache. For you are not the ruins you once feared. You are the rebuilt vessel of glory. The breaking did not end you. It remade you. There are moments in the hidden places of your life when heaven crowns you quietly, not in front of crowds, not with applause, not with cameras or recognition, but in silence, behind closed doors, where no one else can see. You are anointed, and though the world may not yet recognize it, heaven has already declared it. You may have felt overlooked. Perhaps you have wondered, if I am chosen, why does no one notice me? Why do my efforts seem invisible? But the truth is this: your crowning was never meant to happen on man's stage. It was meant to happen in heaven's sanctuary. What you carry is too sacred to be cheapened by human applause. We read in the book of Haggai, chapter 2, verse 23, "On that day, declares the Lord Almighty, I will take you, my servant, and I will make you like my signet ring, for I have chosen you. Ezravan, the signet ring was not displayed for beauty, it carried authority, hidden on the hand of the king. It was used to seal decrees, to make decisions unbreakable. That is what you are, a hidden signet, crowned in secret, carrying authority even before the world knows your name. Think of David once more. Before Israel ever sang his praises, before Goliath ever fell, before the throne was ever his, he was anointed in the quiet of his father's house. Only a few witnesses stood there, but heaven recorded the moment, and from then on, even when he returned to tending sheep, he was already crowned in spirit. So too with you. Even when you return to ordinary tasks, the oil of destiny rests on your head. Imagine a seed planted deep beneath the soil. The world above sees nothing, just dirt, silence, emptiness. But beneath the surface, a miracle has already begun. The seed carries life, and in due time it will break forth. Your hidden crowning is like that seed. Just because no one claps does not mean nothing has happened. Heaven has already marked you, and the world will see in time. There was a chosen one who lived many years without recognition. Her talents were ignored, her voice dismissed, her presence overlooked. She wondered if perhaps she was forgotten by heaven. But then, in moments of prayer and solitude, she felt the undeniable weight of anointing resting on her. It was there, in the silence, that her crown was placed. Later, when her season arrived, the hidden anointing became public authority. But the crown was always hers. It was just hidden until the time was right. Chosen one, do not despise your hidden season. It is in this secrecy that heaven shapes you, guards you, and prepares you. When the crown is finally revealed, it will not rest on your head lightly. It will fit perfectly, because you have already worn it in secret. And now, I invite you to respond with a prophetic act. Type 888 inch the comments. 8 is the number of new beginnings, and when repeated, it signifies overflow and eternity. By declaring this number, you are aligning yourself with the truth that your hidden crowning is leading to a new chapter, one where what has been concealed will be revealed in fullness. As you declare it, remember, your crown is not given by men, so it cannot be taken by men. It is heaven's decision, sealed in the hidden place, waiting for its appointed unveiling. Chosen one, lift your heart in quiet confidence. Even if no one claps, even if no one sees, heaven knows, and that is enough. For when heaven crowns you in secret, no power on earth or in hell can undo it. Chosen one. When you type 888, you are not just entering numbers, you are speaking prophecy into your own timeline. The number 8 has always carried meaning. It represents stepping into what is new, leaving behind what is finished, walking through a doorway that others cannot see. 3 8s together carry even greater weight, the fullness of new beginnings, not just in one area, but flowing into every dimension of your life, your spirit, your relationships, your calling, your future. This is why heaven draws your attention to it now. You have worn the hidden crown long enough. You have carried the weight in silence. The repeated 8s are like heaven's announcement. The season of preparation is shifting into unveiling. just as the eighth day marked resurrection, covenant, and renewal throughout Scripture. So now your life echoes the same. You are rising, renewed, stepping into the chapter where your hidden anointing will be made visible. There is a power within you that has not yet been fully recognized, the power of your voice, not simply the sound that leaves your lips, but the authority that echoes through your spirit. When you speak, you shift the unseen. When you declare truth, you pierce atmospheres that were once thick with doubt. Your words are not small. They are instruments in the hands of heaven. The ancient writer of Proverbs captured this mystery in chapter 18, verse 21. The tongue has the power of life and death, and those who love it will eat its fruit. What this means is that every syllable carries weight. For the chosen, your words are not casual. You do not speak like everyone else. Because your declarations travel further than ears, they travel into realms. This is why your silence has often been attacked. Why fear has tried to bind your mouth. Why doubt has sought to mute your courage. Darkness knows that if you ever fully unleash your voice, chains will shatter. Picture a drum beaten in the stillness of a valley. At first, the sound seems small, but echoes rise, bouncing against mountains, spreading further and further until entire tribes lift their heads to listen. That is your voice. It may feel like a whisper in your own ears, but its resonance shakes more than you realize. Consider the story of Jeremiah, who once declared that he was too young, too unworthy to speak. Yet the Spirit of the Lord replied, "Do not say, 'I am too young.' You must go to everyone I send you and say whatever I command you." Jeremiah learned that his words were not his own. They were fire, tearing down, building up, shaping nations. In the same way, your voice carries assignments larger than you imagine. There was once a chosen woman who had endured silence for years. Pain had locked her voice away, and when she tried to speak, no one listened. But one day, she decided to release her words despite fear. She told her story to a small group. What she thought would be dismissed became the key that unlocked freedom for others. Tears fell. Hearts shifted. Hope returned. From that moment forward, she understood. Her words were weapons against despair. So too with you. The conversations you think are small, the encouragements you give casually, the prayers you whisper at night, they travel further than you imagine. They are recorded in heaven and released like arrows into the unseen. Some break chains you will never witness. Some plant seeds that will bloom years later. Others ignite fires in hearts that had nearly gone cold. Imagine your voice as a stone dropped into still waters. The ripples reach far beyond the place of impact. That is the unseen effect of your words. Even after you finish speaking, the echoes continue to move, reshaping atmospheres, aligning destinies. Chosen one. This is why you must guard your speech. A weapon so powerful cannot be wielded carelessly. Words spoken in anger can wound deeply. Words whispered in truth can heal. Your calling demands that you recognize this weight. You are not permitted the luxury of idle speech, because your voice is too rare to be wasted. But do not fear this responsibility. It is not meant to bind you, but to awaken you. Once you see your voice as heaven's instrument, you will use it with greater confidence. You will stop doubting whether anyone hears you, because you will know the unseen realm always responds, even silence. When chosen, becomes a declaration. To withhold your words at the right time is itself an act of authority. But when the moment comes to speak, your release carries fire. You may feel ordinary in the natural, but in the spirit, your voice is a trumpet that makes walls fall, a whisper that carries the force of thunder. So, rise into this awareness. Your voice shakes realms. Every story you share, every prayer you breathe, every truth you declare carries eternal resonance. You are not merely talking, you are prophesying. You are warring. You are building. Your voice is proof that you were never meant to be silent. And when you finally embrace this truth, you will stop questioning whether your words matter. You will speak with courage, knowing each syllable is a spark in the dark, a sword cutting through lies, a key unlocking chains. Your voice is not background noise. It is heaven's chosen sound, destined to echo long after you've spoken. Your voice will ripple through time, igniting faith in hearts not yet born, echoing beyond your generation as a living testament that chosen words never die but live eternally. There are times when you wonder why your life feels heavier than others, why your struggles seem generational, stretching back before you were even born. The answer lies in this truth: you are a deliverer, chosen not just for yourself, but for many. What you carry is not only your destiny, but the breakthrough of those connected to you, your family, your bloodline, and even those you have yet to meet. The Apostle Paul wrote in the book of Romans, chapter 8, verse 19, "For the creation waits in eager expectation for the children of God to be revealed." Creation itself waits for you. Do you feel the weight of that? The earth groans for deliverers, those who carry keys to unlock chains, binding generations. This is why your battles have often been larger, why your warfare has stretched beyond your own life. The fight has never been only about you. It has been about the freedom of many who are tied to your obedience. Picture a chain stretched across decades. Each link represents a pattern: fear, addiction, brokenness, poverty, rejection. These links have held families captive, passing silently from one generation to the next. But then comes a chosen one, carrying a different fire, a different spirit. With every step of obedience, a link shatters. That chosen one is you. You are the breaker in your bloodline, the one sent to end what others could not. Think of Gideon, threshing wheat in hiding, convinced he was the least of the least. Yet heaven called him mighty warrior. Why? Because within him lay the deliverance of his people, though Gideon could not see it. His obedience would free an entire nation from oppression. His courage was not only for himself, it was for those waiting unknowingly for their freedom. So it is with you. The heaviness you feel, the battles you fight, the patterns you confront, they are all signs of the deliverer's mantle resting on your shoulders. You are fighting wars your ancestors could not win, so that your descendants will not have to. There was once a chosen woman who felt cursed by the struggles in her family. Every generation before her had suffered the same cycles: broken marriages, financial ruin, emotional wounds. She feared she would repeat the same fate, but something within her refused to accept it. She began to pray differently, to live differently, to break agreements with patterns that had chained her lineage. Slowly, her life shifted. She became the first in her family to walk free of the old cycles. Her children grew up in light she had never known, She became the breaker, the deliverer, chosen one. This is your mantle as well. You are carrying the key to unlock more than just your own destiny. Others are waiting on your victory. When you stand, you pull them up with you. When you break through, you create a pathway for them to follow. This is why your life has never felt small. It is tied to a larger story. Imagine a dam holding back a mighty river. For years, the water has been trapped, pressing against the wall, unable to flow. But when one crack forms, pressure builds until the dam bursts, and the river floods the land, bringing life everywhere it touches. You are that crack in the dam. Your obedience will cause the waters of deliverance to break forth, blessing not just you but everyone connected to your name. Understand this. To be a deliverer does not mean you will not feel fear. It does not mean the battles will be easy. It means you carry an authority greater than fear, and a victory greater than the battle. The enemy fears you because he knows, once you rise, entire generations will be set free. Chosen one, you are a turning point in history. You are the hinge upon which your family's story swings from bondage to freedom, from sorrow to joy, from despair to destiny. You may not see the full fruit now, but know this: every prayer, every choice, every act of faith is building a legacy of deliverance. So walk forward with awareness. The mantle you carry is holy. You are not merely living for yourself, you are carrying nations within you. The keys you hold are meant to open doors for many, and though the road may be costly, the result is eternal. You are a generational deliverer, and nothing can erase the authority stamped upon your life. And when future generations look back, they will not remember the chains, they will remember the one who broke them. Your name will stand as a testimony that light entered where darkness ruled, and freedom flowed where bondage once reigned. Destiny cannot be stopped. You may feel delayed. You may feel hindered. You may feel pressed on every side. But the truth remains: what heaven has spoken over your life cannot be erased. You are unstoppable. You are unshakable. You are marked by a decree that no man, no system, no power of darkness can overturn. The Apostle Paul declared with confidence in the letter to the Philippians, chapter 1, verse 6, will carry it on to completion until the day of Christ Jesus. This means that every step of your journey has already been accounted for. The beginning was not yours, and neither is the end. Heaven started it, and heaven will finish it. The setbacks you endured are not cancellations. They are detours. The delays you felt are not denials. They are recalibrations. Your destiny is not fragile, for it is held in eternal hands. Think of a river carving its way through stone. At first, it seems the rock is stronger. Yet, over time, the water breaks through, creating valleys and canyons. Your life is that river. Destiny flows through you with such persistence that no obstacle, however hard, can stand forever. The rocks may resist, but the water always wins. There was once a chosen one who faced relentless opposition. Every project he began collapsed. Every door he knocked on closed. People whispered that perhaps he was cursed. Yet deep within, he refused to quit. He knew the voice that had called him. Years later, when his season arrived, all the rejections suddenly made sense. The places that once refused him were too small for his assignment, His destiny had simply been waiting for the stage that matched his mantle. So too with you. The things that tried to stop you were not final, they were filters. They separated what was temporary from what is eternal. And now, you stand on the edge of seeing why it could not have happened sooner, why the wait was necessary, why the process was vital. Chosen one. Your destiny is a decree written in the heavens. It is a script signed by the hand of the Almighty. No enemy can erase it. No betrayal can nullify it. No rejection can cancel it. What is yours will find you. And when it does, it will fit so perfectly that you will know, this was what I was always meant for. Imagine a crown forged in fire. For years, it rests in the shadows, unseen. But when the rightful head appears, no one else can wear it. No one else can claim it. It was made for one. In the same way, your destiny has been fashioned for you alone. No one can take it. No one can steal it. No one can substitute it. This is why you must keep walking. Even when the road feels endless, the decree over your life is alive, and it cannot be voided. Your very survival is proof that you are unstoppable. And now, I invite you to respond in faith. Like this message as a public declaration that you choose to align with your unstoppable destiny. Share it forward so that another weary soul might be reminded that their decree cannot be erased. Comment boldly, I choose my crown. These 4 words carry power, because the crown of your destiny has always been waiting, and this is your act of acceptance. Subscribe if you haven't, so that reminders of this truth keep reaching you in moments of doubt. And if your heart stirs, sow a seed of support, for every seed allows this message to keep flowing, igniting others to walk boldly in their calling. These are not empty actions, they are prophetic echoes. Each like, each share, each comment, each seed is a ripple in eternity. They are ways of saying, I will not quit. I will not stop. I will walk until I wear the crown that was forged for me. And so rise. Chosen one. Lift your head. Step with confidence. The decree over your life is unshakable, unstoppable, unbreakable. You were born for this, preserved for this, prepared for this, and no power, no voice, no weapon can stop what heaven has already written. And when you look back years from now, you will see how every delay, every rejection, every trial was secretly working for you. The crown you carry will shine brighter because of the journey it took to reach it. Your destiny is not fragile, it is eternal. Every chosen one walks through fire before wearing the crown. The refining season is not punishment, it is preparation. You may have wondered why your life seems to pass through waves of intensity, why some battles feel hotter, heavier, sharper than what others face. It is because your spirit is being polished for eternal weight. The prophet Malachi recorded this truth in chapter 3, verse 3. He will sit as a refiner and purifier of silver. Refining is the language of heaven for those he treasures. Silver and gold cannot remain in their raw form. They must enter the fire. The heat draws out impurities, not to destroy the metal, but to reveal its true brilliance. So it is with your soul. The heat you feel, the seasons of testing you endure, are not evidence of rejection, but of worth. Only what is precious is refined. Imagine a master swordsmith at his forge. The blade is heated until it glows red, hammered again and again, folded and thrust back into the flames. To the untrained eye, it looks like cruelty, like unnecessary violence against a lifeless piece of metal. But the smith knows without the fire and hammer, the sword cannot withstand battle. You are that blade. Heaven has been forging you with fire so that when you are lifted, you will not shatter. There was once a chosen man who lived through relentless refining. Every time he thought he had found stability, another test arose. His heart grew weary, his strength thin. But with each trial, something inside him hardened not in bitterness, but in resilience. His prayers became sharper, his discernment clearer, his faith unshakable. Years later, he realized the refining had not weakened him. It had crafted him into someone who could carry responsibility without collapsing. So too, with you, the final fires you face are not random. They are the finishing touches on your crown. You may feel exhausted, stretched, pressed, but this is the polishing season. Every blow of life, every moment of heat, every tear shed in silence is shining you for the unveiling. Think of diamonds. Before they gleam in the crown, they endure the cutting wheel. Pressure transforms them, but cutting defines them. Without the blade, their brilliance remains hidden. The trials you face are heaven's cutting wheel, shaping facets that will reflect light in ways you cannot yet see. Chosen one, you have already endured much. Do not despise this final refining. It is the sign you are near, the moment of revealing. Just as the darkest part of night comes before dawn, the hottest fire often comes before completion. You may feel as though you are at your limit, but in truth, you are at your threshold. The refining also carries a holy intimacy, for in the fire, you learn the voice of God more clearly than ever before. When distractions burn away, when pretenses melt, when all you have left is your raw cry, His presence draws close. This is the mystery of refining. Though it feels like abandonment, it is the place where His nearness becomes undeniable. There was once a chosen woman who described her refining season as unbearable. She lost what she thought she could not live without. Yet in the silence of her pain, she discovered prayers she had never prayed before, intimacy she had never known. When she emerged, she carried not only strength, but also a fragrance of presence that others could sense simply by being near her. The refining had left a mark of glory upon her life. So, too, will it be with you. The fire is leaving marks that will not fade, marks of wisdom, marks of resilience, marks of glory. People will not always understand it, but they will feel it. They will sense that you have walked through something sacred, and that what rests upon you now could only have been forged by heaven itself. Do not fear the fire. Do not run from the polishing, for soon, what has been shaped in secret will shine in public. Soon, the crown you have carried invisibly will gleam visibly. Soon, the refining will give way to revealing. Chosen one, this is the final fire, and it is holy. Stand in it with courage. Endure it with faith. For you are not being consumed, you are being completed. And when the fire cools, you will realize it never came to destroy you, but to define you. The glow you carry will testify that you were refined, not ruined, purified, not perished, ready for the unveiling written since the beginning. The moment has come when all the threads of your story converge. Every battle you endured, every tear you shed, every silence you walked through, every flame that refined you, they were never scattered pieces. They were weaving a tapestry leading to this unveiling. The time is no longer someday. It is now. You rise. Chosen one. For so long, you carried the sense of waiting. Waiting for confirmation. Waiting for breakthrough. Waiting for a sign that your struggle had meaning. But heaven was not absent in that waiting. It was arranging. The unseen threads were being tied together so that when the time came, nothing could be missing. Nothing could be wasted. Nothing could be undone. The Book of Revelation. Chapter 3. Verse 11. Declares, I am coming soon. Hold on to what you have, so that no one will take your crown. This is the reminder you need at the threshold of destiny. The crown is already yours. It has been forged in fire, polished in silence, and sealed by heaven's decree. No enemy can steal it. But you are called to hold it tightly, faithfully, with courage. Picture a runner who has trained through countless nights, endured blisters, sweat, and exhaustion. At last, the stadium fills, the track stretches before him, and the final lap begins. His body aches, but his heart knows this is the moment he was made for. That is where you stand now. The preparation is behind you. The unveiling is before you. Think also of Esther, hidden for years in the palace, carrying a crown no one fully understood. But when her appointed time came, she stepped forward, not only for herself, but for her people. She realized her silence had been shaping her voice. Her waiting had been preparing her courage. Her rise was not sudden, it was always destined. So too with you. This moment is not an accident. It is the unveiling of what has always been written. The mantle you carry is no longer hidden, it shines openly. The crown you bore in secret now gleams in the sight of many. You are stepping into the fullness of your calling. Chosen one. Rise like dawn over the horizon. Darkness has had its turn, but it cannot hold the sky against the light. You are that light. Not timid, not small, but blazing with purpose. The world has waited for your unveiling, even if it did not know it. Creation itself groans for the rise of those marked by heaven, and you are one of them. There was once a man who felt his years had been wasted. He believed too much time had passed. Too many failures had scarred him. But when his season came, every broken chapter became fuel for his purpose. His scars did not disqualify him. They authenticated him. His rise carried weight because his journey carried cost. The same is true for you. What you thought was wasted is now woven into the power of your rising. Imagine a torch being lit in a great hall. At first, only one flame flickers, but soon it ignites another and another until the entire room blazes with light. Your rise is not solitary, it carries others with you. Your courage will awaken courage. Your breakthrough will spark breakthrough. Your life will testify that heaven's chosen cannot remain hidden forever. You are not stepping into this moment empty-handed. You carry the wisdom of scars, the resilience of storms, the clarity of silence, and the fire of refining. All of it has equipped you for now. You rise not as who you once were, but as who you were always meant to be. Chosen one. Lift your head. This is the hour you were prepared for. The crown rests firmly. The mantle fits perfectly. And the time is no longer waiting, it is unveiling. You rise, not timidly, but in glory, for the decree has already been written. You are chosen. You are crowned. You are unstoppable. And when you step into this unveiling, remember, it is not just for display, it is for impact. Your rising is not about recognition, but about transformation. Every place you touch will feel the shift of your presence, because you carry something eternal. You were not raised up simply to shine, you were raised to lead, to heal, to ignite. Your crown is not ornamental, it is functional. A symbol of authority, a mantle of responsibility. Walk with it boldly, but also humbly, knowing heaven entrusts only those who can carry both fire and tenderness. This is your legacy, to rise, to endure, to shine, and to leave trails of light that others may follow into their own unveiling. Chosen one, you have walked through the fullness of this message. You have seen how every fire refined you, how every silence shaped you, how every crown was hidden until its appointed unveiling, and now you stand at the threshold of carrying it boldly into the world. This is not the end, it is the beginning of a new chapter where your light will burn brighter than ever before. Every word spoken over your life, every promise sealed in Scripture, every confirmation whispered into your spirit, still stands. You are not forgotten. You are not overlooked. You are chosen. And that mark will never fade. Heaven has already declared over you, unstoppable, unshakable, unbreakable. That is your name in the Spirit, and nothing in the natural can erase it. And now I ask you to act on what you've received, like this message, as a way of saying, I carry this truth with me. Share it forward so that someone else standing on the edge of surrender may be reminded of their crown. Comment below with words of faith. Your declaration may be the confirmation someone else desperately needs to read. Subscribe if you haven't yet, so that your spirit continues to be nourished with reminders of destiny at the right time. And if you feel led, sow into this work, even a small seed, so that the flame keeps burning, reaching hearts across the nations who may otherwise never hear this word. These are not small actions. They are prophetic echoes, ripples that move far beyond what you see. Each step you take today affirms your place as part of a greater story. So rise, chosen one. Walk with your crown, shine with your light, and carry this truth wherever you go.